2 Corinthians 4:1 we dealt with in the text talks about, therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. And so this word ministry in 2 Corinthians 4:1 is the word diakonia or diaconia. And there's three meanings for this. This is, you want to get the epitome of ministry? The three definitions I'm getting ready to give you now are the epitome of ministry. And it destroys and defies everything that has been set up in our Christian context as ministry. If we were to do a poll just with friends and family who used to go to church with you, who don't go to church anymore, and ask them what is their definition of ministry, whatever definition they give you is probably the reason why they don't go to church anymore. Because most people, when they think ministry, it's almost like thinking about a king or a potentate. They think the person that's got the most security, the person who drives the nicest car to church, the person who never talks to anybody, the person who lives in this exclusive environment, untouchable, unrelatable. That's the concept or the misconception that religion has created about itself when it comes to ministry. We have reserved this concept of ministry for this place of exclusivity. And that's the antithesis of Christ when you consider we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling, singular, which means human condition, of our infirmities, which are our sicknesses and our symptoms. Think about that. That's the antithesis. Because Christ, the very nature, the concept of Christ is that I want to be touched so that I can touch. That's the whole point. You can't effectively touch anybody else if you can't be touched by them. Let me say that again. You can't effectively touch somebody if you don't allow yourself to be touched. You have to allow yourself to feel what makes people cry, to feel their frustration, and stop putting everything on the devil and deal with some stuff like it's life. Some stuff just hurt. It ain't because I don't have no faith. It's not because I don't believe in God. It's not because I'm not patient. It just hurts. And right now, I'm screaming because it hurts. And I don't need somebody to come to me to give me 10 scriptures and the Hebrew Greek definition of hurt. I just need you to understand that I'm hurting. That's what I love about Jesus, is he understood what they were going through before he brought them out of it. He sat there with the woman at the well, and he didn't call her a whore. He had conversation with the woman caught in the act of adultery, and he didn't make her feel worse. Yes, he identified what they needed, because it's also delusional to deny what the situation is. But in his assessing the situation, he made sure he gave proper application. Say that again. In assessing the situation, always give proper application. Well, they just need to be delivered. Yeah, but do you know how to lead them to deliverance? Well, they just need to be saved. You might be right, but do you know how to lead them to salvation? Don't just assess the situation and use a generic application. That's like us taking you to the hospital and you coughing, so we just say, well, we're going to give you what we gave the last million people, and you die. Because your cough is a symptom of something greater than a cold. But in the church, it's supposed to be a hospital. We have no specialists. Everybody want to be deep, but nobody wants to heal. Everybody wants to be profound, but nobody wants to seek to understand. So don't just assess the situation. Give proper application. That's why the Bible said, I became all things to all men that I might win some. I know all of them are not going to come. But guess what? It's not going to be at the expense of my gospel being hid to them that are lost. And notice he didn't say, I did what all men did. He said, I became. It's like Jesus, who he knew no sin, but he became sin. The sinless one became the sin so that the sinner could become sinless by the sinless one. So he was so perfect in who he was until he said, I can put on everything you'll do so then when you connect to me, you can become what I am. It's a default by association. But in order for me to touch you, I've got to be touched by you. You can't live in your glass house. You can't just hang in your whitewashed environment and say, oh, I'm anointed. No, you're not. You're a fraud. Because anointing has an appointment for adversity.